Hello everybody, School of Education, Campbell University. I'm Dr. Terry with Hampton, and I would like to introduce you to the Iris Center at Vanderbilt University. Now, if you are a special education teacher, then you've already been, or more than likely, you've already been introduced to the Iris Center. It is a wealth of resources, information. There are modules here that you can assign to your students, and with us working online, this is the perfect tool for a classroom teacher. Vanderbilt University has done a great job catering to university faculty and university instructors. So let's take a look. You'll go to Google and you will click on Iris Center, Vanderbilt University. So let's go inside, see what we find. And I hope you guys will use this tool. It is extremely useful. Let's go here. PD certificates for teachers. And as you can see, they actually have virtual resources for college instructors. So I'm going to click here. Now you will need to, you don't have to, but if you want to have access to the answer sheets and the answer keys, then you'll need to create an account. And you email, and within 48 hours, they will send you back an email with your username and password. And if you need professional development hours, you can gain certificates for each module that you complete, and you can just pick and choose what you're interested in. So let's get started for what we can assign our students online. And it doesn't matter if we're a special education teacher, if we are guidance counseling, if we are professional education, you're going to find something here that you can assign for your students. Also for psychology. So this is going to be a great site for the entire School of Education, even social work. So let's take a look here. These are the topics. So we have accommodations, assessment, included progress monitoring, assistive technology, behavior and classroom management, collaboration, content instruction, differentiated instruction. This is one that I always assign to my students. Disability, and of course the classroom management, since I do 440. Disability, diversity, early interventions, early childhood, IEPs, juvenile corrections, learning strategies, mathematics, MTSS and RTI, reading, literacy, language arts, related services, school improvement, and transition. You can also break it down to age groups and grade levels, you see here. And you can also ask what type of resources are with these particular modules. And you can check the resources that you're looking for. It will tell you how many, and the module elements as well. Okay, so let's close these back up. All right. So let's say we were going through this list and we would just click on accommodations. We find that there are 66 modules or 66 resources when it comes to accommodations, and it breaks it down to tell you what those are going to be. So let's go inside the modules here. And let's just pick a module. Let's pick or select content standards, connecting standard-based curriculum to instructional planning. It says here teachers are required to implement the adopted content standards to make the connection between standard-based curriculum and the planning and designing the lessons to ensure that students meet expected content standards. So looks like here we're going to be looking at performance standards and content standards. So let's go inside here. And okay, so this is what I call the landing page. So this is where we are. We're on the module page, and this is where you want your students to start, and this is where you'll start. Then there is a challenge link, and there are 3 links for each section. So challenge brings you to this page. This challenge will bring you to so challenge brings you here. If you click challenge here, it's going to bring you to the same place. If we go back to module and we were to click challenge here, it would still take us back to that same video. So there's 3 places you can click. You're going to get the same thing. So let's do that again. If we were looking at initial thoughts, we could click here, here, and here, and we're still going to get the same initial thoughts page. So we begin on the landing page, which is the module page. There are always 5 sections: challenge, initial thoughts, perspectives and resources, wrap up, and assessment. And be reminded that all you have to do is email them. You will get the answer key for the assessment. How long does it take a student to go through a module? About 2 hours, or sometimes an hour and a half. If it's a short module, then about an hour. And you'll be able to tell how long or how short the module is as you click through the module. Let's start with the challenge here. So the challenge is content standards, connecting standard-based curriculum to instructional planning. It says view the movie below. So what your students will do, they will view this movie, which kind of pre-assesses what your students know already about content standards and performance standards. And so there's a little short video here, and I'm going to play the entire video because it's only a minute and 24 seconds. It gives you an opportunity to see what the videos are like. And each module is set up the same way. Each module, no matter which one you choose from that long list, it's going to have each section here. Okay, so let's get started with the video.
Ms. Begay has just been hired as a first-year 4th grade teacher at Silverado Elementary School. At the school orientation for new staff, the principal discussed the most recent state assessment results and informed the new teachers that they would be required to incorporate state standards and curricular goals into their instructional lesson planning. As Ms. Begay begins to develop her units and lessons for the upcoming year, she focuses on one semester at a time. She recognizes that she needs to address the state standards in her lessons and begins to reflect on how to make that work for her group of students. She knows that she'll have students of varying backgrounds and abilities and wants to make sure the curriculum meets the needs of all of her students, since she's not sure if all students are even at grade level. She also wants to ensure that her students are actively engaged in learning and find the lessons exciting. She's concerned that teaching to the standards will be boring and will just be teaching to the test. How will Ms. Begay know she's teaching her students everything they need to learn this year? What should Ms. Begay find out about her students before planning her curriculum units and lessons? How will Ms. Begay know if her lesson plans are effective and her students are learning? What should Ms. Begay know about creating effective lesson plans?
Okay, so that was the video, and then you could post these as a discussion board, or you can have your students go into breakout sessions or breakout groups inside Blackboard Collaborate, and they could discuss the video and kind of brainstorm. Next, you click to the next part of the module, and you can see here that it is the same questions that were just inside the video. Next, we click and we get to the perspectives and resources. Under perspectives and resources, you'll find the objective for the module. It says by completing the entire perspectives and resources section and reviewing the accompanying activities, the learner will understand the standards and benchmarks, be aware that students' different education and cultural backgrounds affect their learning, be able to identify methods of assessments that determine whether students have learned their standards-based curriculum, and identify components needed to design a standard-based curriculum unit and accompanying lessons. Then it goes through the standards here, and it aligns the standards with your CAPE standards, your CEC standards, your INTAS standards, and your NCATE standards. So once you get this information, the student moves on. And you can see here there are 18 pages to this module. So go to the next page, and it starts explaining the information. And what it's going to do is it's going to go through those 4 questions that were asked in the video. And so as you can see here, it's telling the students that there are 2 types of standards, content and performance. And then it goes on to explain content standards here. And let's see, we scroll down a little, and it will explain performance standards here. And there is also a podcast to assist the students with understanding. So let's just go through a little bit of the podcast. It's only 1 minute, 15 seconds.
mathematics is really looking at the world around us and making sense of it. And so as we're looking at this type of perception of mathematics, then it's really important for us to understand that it's much more than just learning to add and subtract and multiply and divide.
Okay, so the reason she is explaining that looks like here that we're talking about multiplications. There's a video, there's questions, the podcast. We move on. And like I said, it's going to answer each of the 4 questions. There's a timeline. As you can see, this is absolutely awesome. The information that is offered and the resources that are given. There's an analogy there for your students. So just lots of collaborative opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities for individualized learning as well. This goes over content standards, benchmarks, and then performance standards. And I'm not going to go through all 18 pages, but it just gives you an idea of how in-depth the modules are. Here's another podcast. And this one is where Torres is discussing how to and ways to learn about a student's language background. Okay, so there's a podcast there. And then after the students get through these pages, they end up at the Wrap It Up. And there again, there is a Wrap It Up video. It says, in this module, you've learned about the importance of connecting content standards to the curriculum and to lesson planning. As you watch the movie below, you will review the summary and the key points. So they review the summary and the key points. Once your students review the summary and the key points, then comes the assessment. And this is the assessment. And of course, as I stated before, you can email and ask for the answer key. And that was the module. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Again, there's an email with special links for social work, school counseling, and psychology. I do believe that there is some information that will be useful for your departments as well. Don't forget, guys, that you can get professional development certificates that will help you with your license renewal on this site as well. So thank you very much. Everybody stay safe and have a good week.